Good morning and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Bob Martin. I'm the President and CEO of the Imagine America Foundation. I want to welcome all of our visitors to the fourth year of our IAF Career College Exposition webinar service, which has now produced and distributed more than 150 webinars, with our total viewers and listeners now surpassing 5,000 local educators and counselors. To our continuing listeners, thank you for your continued support. For our new listeners, welcome. I'm excited about today's career topic. Is the college degree the only ticket to success? Sponsored by Universal Technical Institute, or UTI. UTI is this country's leading provider of high-quality, career-focused education at 18 locations nationwide. UTI is also a 24-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admission-based financial aid to more than 1,300 enrolling Imagine America students since 2016. Without taking valuable time out of today's presentation, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation to our website, www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains the leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a never-ending serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees, and we just need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation, the Universal Technical Institutes. Joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet this need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area with extensive K-12 background. Before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let me very quickly outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America will be 30 minutes maximum, including questions and answers. Once we finish these remarks, we're going to move directly into today's presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, I'll present all questions offered by participants. We will address as many questions as possible and provide written responses in follow-up emails. We will have a hard close at 10:30 a.m. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn the program over to Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for spending some time with me. Thank you, Bob and Lauren, for allowing me to present again. I've been doing this now. This is my fourth year. We've been with IA from the very beginning. So let's just get started. Let's get right into it. First of all, I just want to start by saying there's a movement in our country today to learn more about CTE, STEM career pathways. We know that this is taking place. When I started doing this about 7 years ago, there was definitely a difference than what we're seeing today. When I would talk about STEM careers, I would get a little bit of pushback, but not so much anymore. I speak at counselor conferences. In fact, I'll be heading to Colorado, doing one out there a day after tomorrow, and I'll be up in the Chicago area next week and talking about the career possibilities that are out there. So definitely a movement that's taking place out there. Gen Z, that's the kids that you're dealing with. And these Gen Z kids, they're a different crew, aren't they? They want everything now, right away. I always get tickled when I talk about the, we talk about what kids are looking for and what it is that they want to do. And financial aid will say, hey, well, we've emailed them 3 and 4 and 5 times. They're not responding. I just get tickled because these kids, they don't email, but their parents don't even email. They're Snapchatters, they're texters and all this. So they don't think that a 4-year degree is the only option. In fact, several of them, they just don't see them doing something for 4 years. They know they need skills and they sure want to make money, but they know that that with that education, they can get something in a lot shorter time frame than maybe the 4, 5, or 6 years. So the barriers to skilled trade careers, 85% of young people value a skilled trades career, but only 16% will follow through on it. And you might say, why is there such a discrepancy in that number? Well, I have a theory. I have a lot of theories that you'll learn today, but the theory is that, these kids, they get coached out of it. We think about it, for instance, what's the question we ask every little kid in this country? What do you want to be when you grow up? And what do they tell us? They want to be a fireman. They want to be a policeman. They want to be a teacher. Well, then why do we have a shortage of all those? Because we'll say, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's nice. But you really don't want to do that. You want to do something where you can make some money or that's not as dangerous, that kind of thing. So we coach them out of it. So it's very important that we help these students to follow up on their dreams. 42% of young people believe skilled trades workers earn at least 50,000, yet half of skilled trades workers with less than 10 years of experience earn at least $50,000 upon starting. They don't realize the money that can be made in this industry. It's just crazy. When you have a teacher that goes to school for 4 or 5, maybe 6 years to get that degree, and they'll start out maybe $40,000. So definitely a possibility to make good money. And they also think that skilled trades jobs don't use cutting edge technology, but skilled trades are CTE. These are STEM programs. Science, technology, engineering, and math play an important role in all of these. So, and then finally, I would say we just have the underrepresentation of women. When we look at, for instance, at UTI, only about 4.5% of our population is female. And we're trying to do something about that, and we're getting there. It's going to happen for us. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later, because we got to get more of our female students involved in STEM careers. So where'd this all start? You must go to college in order to get a good job. This started back in 1971, Griggs versus Duke Power and Energy. At that time, we had employees take aptitude tests and all these tests just to see what they were good at. And so in a court decision, it was decided that these tests were unconstitutional. They're not fair, that we're judging everybody by this. So Duke Power and Energy said, hey, we need help here. What are we going to use to hire future employees? We'll use a college degree. If you have a bachelor's degree, you're automatically qualified. You're automatically smart. You can automatically do anything because you have a bachelor's degree. And we know today that nothing could be further from the truth. But that's where this all started, clear back in 1971, and it's still going on even to this day. I love to compare the old smart and the new smart. With the old smart, meaning that, you want to get into the best college possible. Well, who says what is the best college? Colleges will tout, hey, we're number one in business. Hey, we're number one in journalism. Hey, we're number one in, this or that. Who says? But that was the whole drive, was that you want to get in the best school possible. So, when you're in middle school and high school, take the hardest courses you can. Make sure that you get yourself prepared. Build that resume up. Walk every little old man, a little old lady across the street, because that's going to look good on your resume. And then get into the best college you can. When you get there, figure it out what it is you want to do. And then you walk out, here I am, I've got my degree, hire me. And today that just doesn't work. So in our new smart, in the middle school and even upper elementary levels, we want to start exposing these kids to occupations that are out there, what's available to them. And then when they get to high school, further exposure. We need to take them on field trips, bring in speakers, like we do. We come in and we do workshops, and those are important to the so the kids can see what's out there available to them. We want to expose them to what's there, and then that way they can choose a post-secondary path that's right for them. And then finally, once they come out, they're ready to be employed, and they're going into something that they love to do, something that they thought all along they would like to do. So I love Mike Rowe here, America's Dirtiest Jobs. I know you know who I'm talking about. Not every child will become a lawyer or a doctor. Teach your kids that it is okay to work with your hands and build cool stuff. And that's what we have to keep in mind. It's easy for us as educators. I'm a retired educator myself. It's easy for us to put ourselves in that equation. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure we're helping that student to get what they're looking for, what they want. We have to show them what's available to them, and that bachelor's degree isn't necessarily the only route that they have to take. There are certificated programs and diplomas and that kind of thing that they can use as well too, that they can be highly successful in what they want to be. I love this particular slide. This is employer versus student perception. For instance, number one, professionalism, work ethic. The employer rated this employee at 42.5% proficiency when they rated themselves at almost 90. And then you look at oral and written communications. The employer rated them at 41.6%. They rated themselves at almost 80%. And I can go on and on with these. But you see there's a huge discrepancy here between what the employer sees and what the employee sees. How does that happen? Here comes another theory. Think about it. When kids are young, especially like in sports and other type of activities that they do, nobody fails. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a medal. Everybody gets a ribbon. Nobody gets left out. Everybody's a winner. And I'm submitting to you today that it's okay. Kids need to learn how to fail. That's how they get better. You and I have all failed sometime in our careers, but we learned from it and we got better from it. So it's okay to tell a student, hey, this isn't your best work. Hey, this is we don't have to be mean about it, but we need to convey to them that, not everybody does win every time. Some people have to lose. It's okay, but it's how we learn. It's how we get better. So, and you want that to be instilled in them when they're younger, because here they are out in the workforce and they have this false perception that they're better than they really are. So once again, as educators, it's important for us to convey that information to them the best we can. When we look at college degrees today, we have almost half of the people walking on the earth with a bachelor's degree or higher. They're not even using the degree. They found out they didn't need it. And you think about all the time, all the energy, all the money that they put into that to make that possible, and they didn't need it. So we have to think about that when we're talking about career readiness and career pathways. Let's get these kids on the right path so they don't waste that time, that energy, that money that they could have gotten right into their career. For instance, they want to be a cosmetologist. Why would you send them off to the major college or university for that? Let's find a good cosmetology school for them. So now, when you look at this slide, there's one word that should stand out on this slide above everything else. And it's the very first word on there, the word essential. Now, these are essential STEM skilled trades. Now, you might look at these, you say, well, what's essential about them? Well, they're not essential because we teach all these areas, because we do. But that's not what makes them essential. What makes them essential is think of your life without these in it. Think of what your life would be like, your quality of life without those. Now, you might say aircraft mechanic, avionics technician, that's not all that important to me. Well, maybe it isn't to you, but I'm sitting in an airport parking lot right now, getting ready to go in and catch a plane to Colorado. They're very important to me. Or you might say a plumber. Is that really essential? Well, not until the toilet doesn't flush. Then all of a sudden, that's your BFF. So these are essential STEM skilled trades, and they're high in demand. They were essential before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after the pandemic. And it's important that we get students involved in these careers because they're high demand jobs. For instance, technicians and welders, vehicles on the road today. There's 1.4 billion vehicles on the road, 285 million of them just here in the United States. Now, when you're thinking cars and trucks, but remember, we also have the ATVs, we have the UTVs, we have personal watercraft. All these are, snowmobiles. All those are in there as well too. They all have to be serviced. And look at the number on the right. 1.7 million auto and diesel technicians and welders are going to be needed by 2031. That's crazy, but it's true. And I've got news for you. That's only 7 years away. It's on as fast. You always get asked, are we closing the skills gap? No, we're not. We got to keep working at this to make it better. But these are eye-opening statistics that we need to pay attention to. Earlier, I talked to you about underrepresentation of women in STEM trades. And so what we've done is we've tried to get more females involved in STEM careers. So the mantra that we have is you can't be what you can't see. We started this 3 years ago, And well, 2 years ago, we're actually in our third year. We're doing some, in fact, I'm going to be going to one next week up in our Lisle campus. But we want to show these girls what's available to them. For instance, you can't be what you can't see. Think of the last time you saw a female welder, a female auto technician, a female diesel technician. You see a road crew working on the highways and bridges. And every once in a while, you'll see a woman. What are they doing? They're holding the sign, the stop sign. That's it. We've got to change that attitude. There's been a party going on for a long time, but only the guys have been invited. So we host these STEM conferences at our campuses. When we started, we were hoping for 30 or 40 girls. We've been averaging over 100 girls at each one of these. We give the girls an opportunity to experience STEM. We are a true STEM school, so we take them on a tour of our campus. We show them STEM activities. We have them participate. We put them on the welding simulator so they can experience that. I had a female welder last year up at Lisle campus. She scored a perfect 100 on that. I get school counselors involved in that as well too. You guys are very competitive, and a few school counselors, I told them they might want to think about a career change because they were pretty good welders. But we want these girls to see what is available to them, and then we have them fill out cards afterward. For instance, like this one. This one young lady wrote, "I like watching cars go fast, but wow, today I couldn't stop smiling. I was intrigued with everything. I had no idea how I would start a job in this career, and all I can think is to apply here after high school." So these girls, they don't know what they don't know. It's important for us to show them what's available to them. Scholarships and grants. We hear this all the time about, how do you afford an education? We have over $15 million in grants and scholarships. We help them with housing. We help them with relocation to get to our school. We have these. I've got news for you. Out of the 15 million, we give away less than half of that every year. There are ways to pay for your education. We are Title IV funded, so they do a FAFSA to see if they qualify for financial aid, and then we help to plug in the scholarships and the grants that they can use to make it make their education affordable for themselves. It's vital to them. These are the industry partners. You can see these are the big dogs in the industry. We're the only school in the country that can put this list up. And but I put it up here for a different reason. If you are not using industry, if you're not involving them in your school right now, that's a big mistake for you. Huge. I talk to school counselors all over the country, and I tell them this same message. It's vital that you get industry involved. We do. We will have events at a local dealership. We will invite the students, we'll invite their parents, and then we'll invite educators so you can see what a dealership is really like. Back in the day, a dealership, it was grease and oil everywhere. You might get a bottle of water. Now it's climate controlled environment, carpeted. Instead of a bottle of water, you get a glass of champagne and snacks. I mean, it is totally different than what it used to be. But these industry partners, they will work with you. They want to, and not just, these are just ours, but the electricians, plumbers out there, they want to work with your kids because what are they doing? They're looking for future employees. That's important to them. So they'll be glad to help. And they've got something you don't have, money. Yeah, you don't have a budget. I know what your budgets are like. They can help you with that. So please get industry involved. And if you're too shy to ask, to find out, contact me. I'll help you. I'm not shy about it. I'll be glad to work with you to get industry more involved in your schools and what's happening. One of the things that we hear a lot about is free community college at all the different states. I hear about it all the time. I was instrumental. I live in Missouri with the A+ program here. I was involved in that program as well. But what we found out is that students do not like to fill out scholarships. Maybe you have better luck than we do, but they do not like to fill out scholarships. But we started our tuition reimbursement incentive program. That's a way for students to get their education totally paid for. There are companies out there that offer packages anywhere from $10,000 up to $50,000 plus. They will pay off the students' student loans if they have any. They will give them a tool allowance, a boot allowance. They'll give them a sign-on bonus. They'll give them a tenure bonus. That's how bad they need technicians. So what I'm submitting to you is that there is a way for them to get school. They can go to school free. Now, there is a catch. They got to work hard while they're in school. They got to go to class. If they don't go to class but half the time, why would somebody want to hire them? Because they'll only show up to work half the time. So these are very important programs, and we have over 6,000 employers that take part in this. So it's a huge part of our program. We feel like we're not done until we help these students get placed in their chosen field. That's very important to us, and of course, it's very important to that student and their family. So make sure that you look into this with your students if you have anybody looking into UTI and going to school there. So what we do, our training is on average about a year. Our programs run anywhere from 7 months to 24 months. We offer associate degree programs, but mainly we offer competency-based credentials, because that's what these employers are looking for. They want to know what skills you bring to the table. And we talk about two types of skills, not only the hard skills of knowing how to work on a car or a truck, or how to weld, or those kind of things, how to work on an airplane, but the soft skills, communication. You guys know it. Kids will be sitting in the bleachers talking to each other, not saying a word. They're texting back and forth. The pandemic did us no favors, and the cell phones do us no favors either. These kids need help with the soft skills as well too as the hard skills. So we play that up very strongly with our students. You can find us all across social media. We're on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us all over. Me personally, I use a lot of Instagram. You can follow me on Steve Coyle 2793. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. But that's how we stay connected with students. That's also how we stay connected with educators, and we feel like that plays an important role in our getting our message out there. In conclusion, what we really want to do is we want to work with you all any way we possibly can. As I mentioned earlier, we do workshops. They're free. We come into your schools. If you haven't had us come in yet, please make sure that you reach out to me, and I can help make that happen for you. We have 150 reps across the country. These are not UTI infomercials. They're about the industry. Some of the things that I just talked to you about today, we want to convey that to the students so they know what they're up against. When they need to know how much it costs to live now, how much rent is. They don't have a clue. So we want to help with that. I also do professional development. I'll come into your school district. Once again, my expenses are all paid. I can come in and help. If you want to have some kind of a staff meeting, hey, if you catch me in a good mood, I'll even bring lunch or breakfast. So, I'd be glad to work with you. But we know what you guys do out there and how important it is, and that you are a huge liaison between education and these and the future of these students. And so we want to work with you however we possibly can. This is my contact information on there. You can see there's my phone number. Got my phone. I'm looking at it right beside me right now. Feel free to call, text, carrier pigeon, what works best for you. That's my email address on there. Kind of hard to see in that blue color. There it is. And then there's my Instagram account as well. So once again, I want you to feel free to reach out to me. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Good, the bad, the ugly. I'm okay with it. I coached for many years. I have thick skin, but we just really want to work with you. If you happen to be at the state councilor conference in your particular state, come by and see me. I'm most likely going to be there. Come by and say hi. But what I've learned in this world today is that you're not judged by how much money you have. You're not judged by how many toys, how many items that you own or anything like that. No, you're judged if you have your QR code. So there's my QR code right there. So please feel free to snap a picture of that. That's got all my contact information on it. As I said, reach out to me. I'd love to visit with you and find out more about what your needs are and see if there's some way that UTI can work with you. Thank you again so much for spending your time with me today. I know you're busy people. You have a lot of things to do. I really appreciate the opportunity to get to speak with you. Thank you.
Hey, great job, Stephen. I really appreciate it. Let me mention a couple of things that I noticed because we've been doing this with you for a while. Number one, at Imagine America, we're very excited that UTI has now brought on aviation mechanics, which is is new and is offered at a certain number of your campuses. I just want to call our listeners' attention to that. And then second, I want to mention, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the new campus in Austin, Texas, and the new campus in Miramar. So we've got UTI is growing by leaps and bounds, and they're doing extremely well, and they're adding programs on that reflect their interest in responding to what the career needs are, career training needs are. So let me go to the first question, because GPA requirements. Are there GPA requirements for admissions to UTI?
No, there's not, Bob. We base ours on the personal interview. We meet with the student and their parents and whoever else is involved in that decision-making process, grandma, grandpa, aunts and uncles, cousins, whoever. But we have that personal interview because we want to find out about that student. We want to find out about their work ethic. We want to find out, about their goals, their ambitions, to see if we're even the right fit for them and they're the right fit for us. Now, I will tell you this, though, for the first time this year, we are offering academic scholarships based on GPA, ACT, or SAT scores. So make sure that your students look into that. I'm so excited. I wrote this a few years ago, trying to get this going, and it finally came to fruition this year. So we're pretty excited about it. So there is a way to get some tuition dollars.
Well, the second question that we've gotten before is comparisons with community colleges, specifically duration of program and cost of programs.
I get that question all the time. We are not a community college. Don't pretend to be. Community colleges and us, we're different. What we do, we don't really compete. We're separate in what we're looking for. There's a couple of things that really make a difference. Number one is the time you're going to be in school. The average time you're going to be at UTI is about a year, give or take, depending upon the program. As I said earlier, 7 months to 24 months. At the community college, you're going to be there at least 2 years and possibly longer. And along with that, remember, at the community college, you're going to take your gen ed courses. Some of these students, they just don't want to do that. They want to get right into their area. And that's what we do. We do incorporate STEM in all of our programs, but you're not going to take Greek mythology and 20th century world literature. We don't do those things. And then the alliances with the manufacturers, that's huge. That we have all these contacts, so we help the students get placed after graduation. Yeah. So those are really the biggest differences between us and community college.
Yeah. Now, Stephen, the next one comes with regard to housing. Many of your campuses, or in fact, most of them, have a large number of non-residential, not local students coming in, I should say. You recruit from 50, 60, 100, 150 miles away. Do you have housing options that available at UTI for those students?
Yes, we do. Every campus except Bloomfield, New Jersey, has housing. They are apartments. They're not dorms. They're apartments that we lease, so they're only our students. And but the best part is the lease matches your time in school, so you don't have to pay for extra housing that you don't need. Right. Also, you have your own individual lease, so you're not responsible for somebody else if they move out. And then finally, we help students get a part-time job while they're in school. That way, they can help to pay for their housing.
So what's the best way, if we have some people here that want to talk to the rep, to a UTI, get them into their school, make a presentation, talk to their students? What's the best way to do that? Go to the website, contact you, or all the above?
All the above. You can go to our website, uti.edu, very easy. And you can, submit a request there, or just reach out to me. You've got my contact information. I hope you snap the QR code here, please. And please reach out to me, and I can hook you up with who you need to talk to. But yeah, we're very approachable, very easy to get in contact with.
Great presentation. We're always great working with you, Stephen, and UTI on these presentations, and I want to thank you. Let me go through a few housekeeping details. So everyone knows, we have recorded this session, and we're going to be forwarding the recording to all the registrants. It'll also be housed on our website if you want to listen. Anyone wants to come in and listen to it later on. Second, we're doing a follow-up survey. I'd encourage any and all of our participants to fill that survey out, give us feedback on any part of the session that you would like to give us comments on. New this year is the foundation is offering a participation certificate for this session and other sessions that we're going to be having, which means that we will send you a certificate that shows that you were a participant in this, signed off by myself and by Stephen, and any of you that want that or would like to have that for your internal purposes or whatever, just contact Lauren Cunningham at the Imagine America Foundation, and we'll be happy to get that to you. Before closing, I want to thank the participants, the education participants, for taking time out of their very busy schedule to join us today. As Stephen said earlier in the presentation, we know you got a lot of demands on your time. We know that they're competing. We appreciate you carving out just a little bit of time to listen to today's presentation on UTI in the Chicago area. We really appreciate it. Stephen, we value your time and we really appreciate your presentation and support. I would encourage you to download or click on the information for Stephen. Contact him. He's a very, very helpful guy. On behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Lauren Cunningham and myself want to thank you and hope you have a great day. Goodbye.